All right. Malcolm in California, you're live with Eric and Zod. What would you like to talk about today?
I'd like to talk about my interpretation of the Bible and how it may actually be the most credible interpretation given the other various religions and what the stories in the Bible may originate from or be associated with.
Okay. Why do you think the Bible is credible at all?
I don't think that at face value that it's credible in that sense. I believe it's a memory trick, a Kabbalistic compilation of stories that tell a real story if you kind of interpret it.
So do you mean that it's kind of on par with the stories of the Greek gods or in the Iliad, like those kinds of stories?
You could say that in some respects, yes.
Okay, well, if that's the case, then I don't think this is a very interesting thing to dive into. If it's just as credible as other fiction, then I'm really not super interested in your interpretation of fiction. Is there something here that you think we should know or that maps to reality in a way that we can track?
Yes, it could. That's the point, is that it is a realistic approach to the stories in the Bible and how they're compiled together, and how there's a secret gospel, or there's esoteric wisdom from the past, so that some say.
Well, I don't know who some is, but I know who you are. I'm talking to you, Malcolm. So is this esoteric wisdom on the same par as like Aesop's fables?
Could you say that again?
Sure, Aesop's fables.
Aesop's fables. I couldn't say or speak on that because I'm not well versed on Aesop's fables, But sure. I could give you my point of view on this real quick, and then you could take it with a grain of salt.
Well, so just so long as you understand that we're going to be listening for truth claims, and we're going to be looking for things that we can investigate. And if this is going to lead down a path of I see use in fiction, cool. I agree with you. We can find use in fiction. If we agree that it's fiction, then I think that we're probably going to move on to the next caller. If you think the call is not going to go in that direction, then I'm happy to say go ahead.
I could get something further to investigate with it.
Go for it.
It may not sound like it at first, but as I go on, then perhaps.
Okay. What do you got?
Okay, so when it comes to the Bible and the story, and it's compiled with like other stories and whatnot, but how it goes along is God creates the earth and the heavens. There's a Garden of Eden. There's a flood and a Tower of Babel in the flood, I believe. And this could be relating to real stories in the past. So instead of creating the earth and the heavens, it's actually building upon the earth and the heavens as humans do, so to speak. Light can be a variety of things. The Garden of Eden could be just an example of the surface of the earth, or the story
so
of
that's fine. Malcolm, I've had plenty of callers call in and want to use different definitions for words.
I could give you
talk about those definitions, but here's the thing. If you're just talking about naturalistic things happening and trying to make the Bible fit, if you just change what the words mean, that's literally what you can do with everything. You can do that with literally
No,
every book. If you just change the definitions of all the words, it can mean what you want it to mean.
I'm comparing it to history. I'm talking about.
You're comparing it to history. Was there a global flood?
There was floods like to high extents to where civilizations in the past would have considered it that, or the story would have.
Okay, I'm not asking what people considered it to be.
Like
I'm asking you, was there a global flood historically?
That could be debated later, but I don't want you to.
It can be debated later. I'm asking you now.
I'm not telling you to investigate a global flood.
Okay, sure. Your other example was the Tower of Babel. Was there a time that people built a tall building and then all of a sudden everyone there was speaking different languages? Why? Because they were cursed, because they had the hubris to be like the gods.
I opened up saying that this was a interpretation, so I said at face value that's not exactly what it, I'm not saying to take it at face value here. What I'm saying is that there is times in history where it takes stories from. So in Egypt, you could see, you could investigate that there was a time where there was a globalization of other cultures. And I believe the dates are either 1177 or 1086. This goes back to Egypt. And this is where something like the Tower of Babel could have happened, because there are people that had languages that were lost.
So let's say I grant you that. All of the benign claims in the Bible, let's say all of them are true. We're still stuck with the miracle claims. I really don't mind that we're talking about historical things, right? There are cities that existed or exist that are written in the Bible. I'm not going to sit and argue with you that nothing in the Bible is true, because those places are obviously there, at least many of them. It's the miracle claims that I care about. Are you saying that there's something there, or are you just saying that there's?
I'm not saying that there's miracle claims. If there was any miracle claims,
and Malcolm, I think we agree. I think we're on the same page. I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care, buddy.